Ms. Kaptur is recognized to address the amendment.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. And I rise in support of the gentlelady's amendment very strongly. I'm a big supporter of mail-in ballots. And not everything has to be electronic these days. If I look at the state of Ohio, in the 2024 election, nearly 1 million Ohioans actually voted with absentee ballots by mail. We had a recent special election. We had 84,000 people vote by mail. But I'll tell you, not everything in Ohio is fair and square. So what they do is if you want to vote by mail or if you want to drop your absentee ballot in a box, here's what Ohio does. If you have a county of 500,000 people, there's one drop-off box. If you have a county in Ohio with 10,000 people, there's one drop box.
Folks, you're not going to believe what I just watched. Another politician standing on the House floor singing the praises of mail-in ballots like it's the greatest invention since sliced bread. But let me tell you something. While they're trying to sell this as fair for all Americans, we know the truth. Mail-in ballots are the Democrats' favorite loophole, and Ohio is their testing ground. Now, this congressman is up there bragging about how nearly 1 million Ohioans voted by mail in 2024, and how it's such a blessing for seniors in small towns. He even shared a personal story about his brother using mail-in ballots right up until his death. And listen, I respect that, and I care about seniors. But let's be honest, convenience should never come at the cost of election integrity. He's complaining about Ohio having just one drop box per county, whether it's 10,000 people or 500,000. But here's my question. Why do Democrats always push for more and more unsecured drop boxes? You don't need a dozen drop boxes in every corner of the city. What we need are secure in-person voting systems where you show up, show your ID, and cast your ballot, just like Americans have done for generations.
That's about as off-kilter. It gives you a sense of what it's like to be in politics in Ohio. And the other thing they do in Ohio is gerrymandering. They love, if they could do it every year. I am living testimony to what gerrymandering is all about. And so they not only change where your precinct is, right? So my house, what they did, the latest one now for this next gerrymander, they divided my street in half, right down the middle. It's like a joke. So my church is out of my church is still in my precinct. The graveyards are not in the precinct. I mean, it's really, we need a comedy. We need a comedy about Ohio gerrymandering. The one thing we can be sure of is the post office. That when that letter goes in there and it's postmarked and you can mail it, you have a greater confidence. If you think I trust the Ohio Board of Elections, you are crazy. And so at least the mail, we can track the mail and we can be sure. The other thing I want to say is we have a lot of senior citizens in Ohio. Now, I know Shelley Pingree says she has more per capita than we do, but I remember when my brother got sick and he couldn't leave the house anymore. And the mail-in ballot was his salvation, and he voted to the day he died. And there are millions of people like my brother. And they have a right to vote, and they have a right to place it in the mail. And as far as I can recall, the U.S. mail, when you become a letter carrier, and I was one, you take an oath. You take an oath for that job. We have to take an oath for this job. There's a whole lot of people that don't have to take an oath for their jobs. But there's a special importance that goes with that and with carrying those letters to the boards of election around the state of Ohio. So you can say, well, Ohio, maybe they want to go to electronic. Well, Ohio's a little bit old-fashioned in some ways. We still have people that ride horses there. And I think that for mail-in voting, it goes to every post office, no matter how small the town, a little town like AI or Ney, Ohio. They have a postmaster, they have mailboxes. In the small towns, their vote counts. In the big towns, I wish the state of Ohio were more fair to us and they would put more drop boxes if people want to drop their ballot in one of those outside boxes that they arrange. But I think the gentlelady's amendment is it's fair to every American, and no matter where they live, no matter what their physical condition is, and I totally support what she's proposing. And I would ask my colleagues on both sides of the aisle to support the amendment. Thank you.
And let's talk about trust. He says he doesn't trust the Ohio Board of Elections, but he does trust the U.S. Postal Service. Folks, really? The same post office that loses packages, delivers mail late, and is full of bureaucratic inefficiency. That's who we're supposed to put our faith in when it comes to our sacred right to vote? This isn't about making voting easier. It's about making elections easier to manipulate. They call it fairness, but what it really does is weaken confidence in the system. And when Americans lose trust in elections, that's the beginning of the end for our republic. So no, I don't buy the mail-in ballot love fest. If you care about America, if you care about your vote, then you should be standing for secure, in-person elections with voter ID and strict oversight. That's the only way we ensure one person, one legal vote. If you agree that election integrity matters more than political convenience, smash that like button, share this video with your friends, and hit subscribe so we can keep fighting for truth together. And drop a comment below. Do you trust mail-in ballots, or do you want stronger election security? Let's get this conversation rolling.